I'm Dan Gallagher, and welcome to a brand new series here in the CBC called Ear to the Ground. A chance for us to introduce you guys to a bunch of young new bands from across the country, right from Vancouver, BC to St. John's, Newfoundland. On tonight's show, we're going to meet the Leslie Spit Trio, based in Toronto. Two-thirds of the band originally from Calgary. Now, they met while doing community theater here in Toronto. They said, hey, we're broke. Let's make a couple extra bucks. We'll go on the street and busk. From busking to a record career, to a record career, to a Juno, and now we have the band. Just putting their finishing touches on their brand new record with engineer Joe Hardy, who of course worked on Tom Cochrane's Juno Award-winning Mad Mad World, and should be out any day now. The band is Laura Hubert, Pat Langley, and Jack Nicholson, not the Joker, but the nicest folks in rock and roll. Here they are, the Leslie Spit Trio.
Sometimes I wish we'd never been together and we were working out the bugs on our own. Please don't get me wrong, it's not that I regret us. We were just so young and unaware of our self-trust. You wouldn't be the one getting so depressed with it. I wouldn't be the one tied up in a straitjacket. Sometimes I wish we'd never been together. We could wipe away the history with a single feather. You would look at me and me right back at you. There'd never be any doubt of the next thing we could do. I wouldn't be the one being sad of losing you. You wouldn't be the one searching for the perfect kiss. Sometimes I wish.
We came out here and rehearsed for 2 weeks because we had no songs or anything.
No name.
No name.
This is where the name.
So a day before, we still didn't have a name. Oh, Leslie Spit, okay.
We were standing on one of those mounds out there.
There was a mound kind of over that there.
Leslie Spit Trio. But not T-R-I-O, because maybe we'll play with other people eventually. Yeah. Maybe a chorus of people. Who knows what kind of thing could happen. So maybe. We just said trio, and there was no trees around, and we kind of like trees. Trio.
And we came here to rehearse because Tag didn't like rehearsing inside the house. And he usually calls his shots when it comes to working on new songs.
Resisting temptation of immediate gratification, concrete dust horizon, present situation. In my heart, on suspicion, toss so many words in the air, privileged information, can't see it in the sky. Catch the highway, gonna search for UFOs. In the colored lights, shining on black roads. Hey, Mr. Spaceman, are you looking for a dream? Take me away.
Well, the way the three of us met was Jack and I actually met out in Calgary, and we hung out there for a while. And we decided we'd go to Toronto. I don't know why, but we just did.
The Golden City.
The Golden City, yes. Well, basically, we were two kind of young country punks that met Laura on the streets, and she showed us the ropes. We were terrified. We had no idea which way to turn or which way to go. We both had milky skin, you know. And
short hair.
I almost went back a couple times, you know. I got here and, you know, didn't talk to anybody in a month. Was gonna pack all my stuff in the car, but then I met Tag. So he was from here, so I figured it couldn't be all bad. So I stuck around.
Well, it's funny, because the streets were always like, in Calgary, the streets are pretty well empty, and it's like wide open, and there's nobody around. It's like, you can do whatever you want. Out here, it's like, everywhere you go, there's somebody to see and somebody to talk to. There's people asking you for money.
I lost sleep the past few years. Nothing coming up that ain't inside a dream. But I'm awake now. The rain is falling like a pen. I want to catch every drop, stick 'em in my heart, lay down on the earth and me with you. Panorama.
This program is brought to you by Molson Canadian Rocks. It's coming for you.
It was one birthday party that will become a part of history. Molson Canadian Rocks at the Great Canadian Party. Rocking from coast to coast. In the air.
They're packed in like sardines.
On the air.
Are you having a good party?
Over 100,000 saw it live, and millions more tuned in live. Thank you, Canada, for the biggest one-day party ever. Stay tuned as Molson Canadian Rocks continues to rock the summer. Molson Canadian Rocks is coming for you.
The cost of living, the cost of raising kids, cost of peanut butter.
Oh, something that doesn't go up in price.
Till 1995? That's good. Looks like service charges aren't the only thing that's frozen.
To make my nachos, I lay the chips down with the curls facing up and heap on so much cheese, salsa, refried beans, and jalapenos, you can barely lift a chip. But thanks to Palmolive, lifting off the goop from the dish is no problem. It even gets up the stuff that was zapped on from the microwave. And Palmolive softens hands while you do dishes. So, before my tongue cools off, I'm already finished.
Palmolive, you cook, we'll clean.
Getting to know you, getting to know all about.
Introducing the import-inspired Geostorm.
Getting to like you, getting to
It's starting out.
like me.
It's getting there with power and style. It's Storm. For life.
Getting to know.
Get to know the new Geostorm at your Chevrolet Geo dealer.
Kind of, I guess, rock and roll diversified house. We had a visual artist who did really wild paintings and wore kind of straight clothes. And we had a young kind of bohemian poet.
Kind of guy.
Yeah.
As far as rent and bills and groceries and stuff like that, it's pretty well shared by everybody. Like, somebody had some extra money, it came into the house, and then next week somebody else would have the money. And
it kind of ran like a little mini unspoken communist society sort of thing.
Is a song without words, like a sky without birds. Almost always dark. We should do this sometime, but not right now's the bottom line. There's a story on the rise. You have to tell once when you were 7. While you dropping into the bucket at the bottom of the wishing well. Is our song without words, like a sky without birds? Or must we always not be
Hey, we'll share each other's toothpaste every now and then, and toothbrushes.
Yeah, wear each other's t-shirts. Who's got a clean pair of socks? That kind of stuff. You know, the essentials.
Smokes, beer, what are the other Canadian things that we do?
Songwriting.
Songwriting. Yeah. We share that too.
That's how we attempt to write. We attempt to write, the three of us together. Sometimes it ends up being, you know, here's a couple verses, take a look at this and see what you think, or, you know, somebody needs a melody, you know, or, but we exchange things, like the property of it, like, we're not concerned with the property of it, like who writes, who made up the melody. Everybody around us seems to be
We're not really concerned at all about, like, who wrote the song, really, because it's come from something that happened the other day. Somebody said something, somebody did something.
Most of the material comes from, like, what we do together and where we live and how we live together. So.
All our arguments and how...
Everything surfaces. You know, last week's argument is in this week's song. You know, often like that. Or it's at some level, maybe not realistically, but in a metaphor or something like that. So it's pretty well like you got to watch what you say and what you do, because he's going to show up.
Yeah, and that's interesting, too, because, like, you know, when we first started writing songs, like, it'd be almost like reading a diary out loud.
Yeah.
And somebody would see something go,
said that.
Hey, you know.
It's impossible for me to find a harmony line in that song. There's absolutely no way.
I'm not singing this song. It's a stupid song. No, I know it's not about me, but it's a stupid song.
We didn't know why Dave wanted to stop in this town.
I promised Mom I'd look up a family friend.
Seems you went to see this girl, Doreen.
Yeah. I'm a friend of Doreen's. Doreen's in the other room.
Well, he got all he could handle.
Hi, Doreen.
So you've met Doreen too.
Excuse me, I gotta make a phone call.
We would have helped him out.
Guys, you gotta get over here.
But we were kind of occupied.
Who says no way?
Molson Canadian, with beers all about. This morning, this man took his car to Certigard Personal Car Care for service for the first time. He's now waiting for the call. You know, the call that tells you it'll cost more than you thought, and it won't be ready when they said. With Certigard, however, the difference starts with an exclusive 300-point condition check and ends with the news that your fully warranted service will cost exactly what they said it would. Certigard, personal car care you can count on from people you can trust. From Petro-Canada, committed to Canadians.
We believe satisfaction goes beyond the best bumper-to-bumper protection in Canada, or the best coverage on major components, or even free roadside assistance around the clock. It goes as far as the Nissan Satisfaction Commitment, the most comprehensive full-line customer care program ever, and standard on every 1992 Nissan, because we believe warranty should protect the people who drive the cars, not the people who make them. Nissan, built for the human race.
This summer, it's your choice. Tackle the garden or catch a tackle. The CFL on CBC. Ticats, Argos, Thursday. Friday, the Toronto Blue Jays at Oakland on CBC.
Hi, I'm Dan Gallagher, host of Dan Gallagher's View Hits here on the CBC. Now, if you haven't seen the show, and I can't believe you haven't watched it, you're going to want to check us out, because we got the best videos, we've got the best guests, we have the best contest, and we got the best darn viewers in the entire free world. That would be most of your friends, because if you're not watching it, doesn't mean the guy at work's not doing it. If you want to know what time we're on? Check your local listing. Read a TV guide or the free thing you get in your newspaper, or just ask someone, because a lot of people do watch it.
gear?
Touring in a way is a bit of a different beast because the house is stationary and you can always leave it whenever you want.
You can go out and slam the door.
Yeah.
You can go to somebody else's house.
Yeah. Well, here is it. And then we've got other people also on the bus as well, you know?
Yeah.
Drummer and bass player and sound man and bus driver and manager often. Joe is, in the States, Joe was on the phone, on the cellular phone, all the way through the States. So, I mean, it was quite the scene.
And after a month or two on a bus, it just, no matter how big it is, it gets smaller and smaller. There's only so many places you go. And if there's a door, if you slam it, it will hit something.
We just finished a week off. Usually gear loading is a lot more bitching, griping, uptightness. But after a week off, we're smiling, we're happy. You may never see a load this happy again.
And the brush strokes tell a story of all the pain that's become your past. But now it colors what lays before you. The painting's grown to keep you back. Put down that brush. Don't color me in. Don't finish us before we begin. Put down that brush. Take my hand. We'll paint today the way that we can. You add colors to the painting before you live the moments that you're relating. You dip your brush now in black and white now. You don't want to see how love can explode now and bring you colors you never dreamed of. What are you afraid of? Take a chance.
The coolest thing for me about recording and having the record is that somebody in the Northwest Territories,
Homer, Alaska,
can take the CD out or the cassette and put it on, and we have no control over that when they do or how they do it, but they can just do that somewhere way away, and that's really interesting because that is like that's an audience, that's the audience too, you know. It's realizing that and you know, taking advantage of it, you know.
And also wanting to do impetus to do another record,
Yeah.
make some more music.
Yeah.
With a little bit more knowledge of what's going on around us. I'm not sure if that's good or a bad thing, actually. I don't know if that's what really matters.
We're not sure of much these days.
Yes, we're just, yeah, still spinning.
Garage is officially a gear garage. As you see, there's no car in it to mess things up. Go. Come on.
Check the pack. You ready?
Sign of approval. Ready to go?
Take time.
It was one birthday party that will become a part of history. Molson Canadian Rocks at the Great Canadian Party. Rocking from coast to coast. In the air.
They're packed in like sardines.
On the air.
Are you having a good party?
Over 100,000 saw it live. And millions more tuned in live. Thank you, Canada, for the biggest one-day party ever. Now stay tuned as Molson Canadian Rocks continues to rock the summer. Molson Canadian Rocks. It's coming for you.
Important information for allergy sufferers.
Seldane and other terfenadine products will soon carry instructions not to use them if you're taking the prescription medicines ketoconazole or erythromycin. Use of Seldane with those medicines could lead to heart problems. But for most people, Seldane remains a trusted form of allergy symptom relief. As with all medicines, read and follow directions carefully, and consult your physician or pharmacist if you have any questions. Or call us about Seldane.
Committed to the responsible use of medications.
In decathlon, the real competition is yourself.
In your heart, you can do
than his hopes for Barcelona.
We can make better days.
Hey, is this the way to Darien Lake? Whoa!
Darien Lake? Wait, I can almost see it.
No, Darien Lake is down here. Daredevils from around the world are coming to Darien Lake for 10 days of the most outrageous death-defying stunts you'll ever see. Stop! Miss it, and they'll really be hurt.
This program is brought to you by Molson Canadian Rocks. It's coming for you.
Pulling out my hair won't make me more aware, and screaming out my lungs won't make somebody care. Sticking pins in voodoo dolls might help it go away. But how much time's been wasted already in this day? Missing the attraction.
We really like to incorporate more of our backgrounds in theater into our live shows. The problem we've been having so far, really, is that, you know, the album came out and we're just doing this, and now we're an opening act, opening for bigger acts, and we're kind of like getting there and having a 5 or 10 minute sound check, and we got to go, and then it's on to the next show. We haven't really had the time to just breathe, let alone, you know, talk about a prop here or a light cue there. It's not really set up for us yet, you know, because we're in a bar where, you know, it just, hopefully we will do our own tour in something other than small bars.
I still get these fantasies of which plays I want to be in and which roles I want to play, so I don't think that'll ever leave. Definitely not.
I think we all want to write and perform. There's like, you know, the odd movie script that'll come by and say, you know, a little part here, a little part there, and if the time is right, it'd be great to continue to do that. But I still want to work on this musical collective. All our friends, there's so many friends still in the theater, still plugging away, putting up 3-4 shows a year. I want to collaborate with some of them. Yeah, acting's a lot of fun.
The future for us is usually about a month ahead. You know, that's as far as it goes. We generally know that we're going to be playing, we're doing this tour, we're playing this gig here by the end of the month, or we do this next week. And other than that, we're not too sure.
I think that it might crop up into our conversation every once in a while now, just in sort of trying to guide and have a voice in our own path, like in working with the record companies, and not being, at the beginning we were pretty passive and went, okay, let's just do this and let them be the official voices in a sense, and now we're starting to develop maybe a little bit more of like what we want and how to articulate that so that everyone is understood.
Mm-hmm.
And because everyone's needs are a little different, and you know, you have to follow, you have to carve your niche.
There's flies in the kitchen, I can hear them now buzzing, and I ain't done nothing since I woke up today. How the hell can a person go to work in the morning, come home in the evening, and have nothing to say? Bring me an angel that flies while we can breathe. Bring me a poster of an old radio. Just give me one thing that I can hold on to believe in this or
over things, you know, not letting things bug you as much is, I think, kind of central in our writing and the band.
Accepting change.
And trying to deal with things as they come and not blow them up to 9,000 times the size they are, which we all do.
Yeah. I'm not feeling that you have to change your life, you know, because, I mean, that's one thing that happens when you get out of, you know, college and university, you know, and you get your first few jobs and then you go, oh man, I have got to change the way I think. And, you know, accepting yourself and being positive about that is like, I think a really good thing.
We'll go out and buy the record.
That's another thing.
So we can keep doing what we're doing.
Right on.
We just go back over it like 7, 8 more times.
Yeah, that's what we do. Over and over and over again on the street. And finally, we work out our harmonies. That's kind of what we do. Get the lines right, get the chords happening. Tag?
Tag.
What do you see, Tag? What do you see? Get it. Get it.
Catch a garter snake on film. Come on.
We're always talking, and then there's talking. Oh, well, there's a heart aching on me tonight. We're always talking, not much walking. You got talking on your mind. Is a song without words, like a sky without birds. Or must we always dark behind? We should do this sometime, but not right now's the bottom line.